Hey there, how you doing? Welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Jay and I explore platforms like GoHighLevel in depth so you don't have to. I'm your guide in helping you pick, use and master the right tools for your business. If you're in the beginning stages of starting a business, then it can be really difficult to know which platform to use. There are so many of them out there, they all do different things and they all claim to be the best. Now, one such platform is GoHighLevel or GoHighLevel, whatever you want to call it. It's been making waves out in the business world and it does a lot of stuff. I mean, it's really, really good and I typically recommend it. But it's not for everybody and it might not be for you either. So today, instead of recommending the platform, I'm going to give you reasons why you shouldn't use it. In fact, there are 8 reasons in total why you should not use GoHighLevel. And if you stay tuned to the end, I'm going to be giving you some key questions to ask yourself, which will help you decide whether or not you should use that platform or if you should go for an alternative one. And I'll give some suggestions too. As always, I kindly request that if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up and do consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos. And I always encourage, if you have questions, do drop them in the comments box below because I am more than happy to answer them. I want to make sure that you have all the information you need about the platforms that I'm talking about. And with that said, let's get on with it. There is no denying that GoHighLevel is a fantastic platform. It's a true all-in-one solution and it literally does everything you need to manage and run an online business. But just because it does everything, it doesn't mean it's right for you. There are so many platforms out there. GoHighLevel is just one of them. So you really need to carefully consider the features, what it does and how it might work for you to determine if it's going to fit your requirements. I always encourage people to try these platforms out before committing financially. They all offer free trials and GoHighLevel is no exception to that. Now, we have an extended 30-day free trial available, which is more than double the usual 14 days. Just click the link in the description box below and you'll find how to access that. And the best of all, the trial can be extended up to 2 times, so you can get actually 58 days in total to use the platform for free. So in my mind, that's the best way to determine whether or not these types of platforms are going to work for you. But with that said, I'm going to go through the 8 main reasons of why this platform may not be great for you. The first reason why GoHighLevel might not be right for you is if you are a total beginner to platforms like these, or if you're a bit of a technophobe, because this platform is technical and a lot of the features are quite complicated to set up if you don't know what you're doing. And speaking of features, there are over 300 of them. I mean, these are the features just within the sub account. Then you've got all of the settings, there's lots of those. Then you've got automation, that's awesome, but it is complicated. And if you want to get the best out of this platform, you're going to need to know how to use it. And then you've got everything in the agency view of your account as well. And there is a whole bunch of features and a whole bunch of settings. So if this is the kind of thing that's going to make you break out into a cold sweat, then GoHighLevel may not be the right choice for you. So do consider the large learning curve before you decide to tackle GoHighLevel and think about maybe whether or not a platform with fewer features that's easier to learn might be a better option. I will also add here that although GoHighLevel has tutorials and video guides, they are often outdated. So if you do intend to use those to learn the platform, it might not be as straightforward as you think, so it may end up being harder to master the platform. Speaking of simplicity, the second reason why GoHighLevel might not be right for you is that it can be overkill for smaller businesses. Now, keep in mind that GoHighLevel was originally created to serve agencies. Therefore, it was set up with agencies in mind and it contains all the features that a marketing agency needs. If that's not you, if you don't plan to handle multiple clients, then GoHighLevel is just going to be too much for your requirements. So why pay for a platform that doesn't actually fit what you need it for? I mean, sure, it does everything, but you're probably going to be better off with something that has less features and is more suited to an individual running a business rather than somebody that is in charge of an entire marketing agency with multiple members of staff. Now, the third reason why GoHighLevel might not be for you is the cost. Now, I'm not actually talking about the subscription price here because I think $97 a month for a platform with over 300 features is actually pretty damn reasonable. And even if you upgrade to the top tier plan, which is $497 a month, that gives you the ability to sell GoHighLevel as software as a service. And that is super reasonable as well. It is not an expensive platform when you're just looking at the base price. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is that when you sign up for the platform, there are a lot of hidden costs that aren't apparent. They don't really make a big deal about this on their website, so it can be hard to find these things out. But there are hidden costs, and there are a lot of them, so this can make the platform unaffordable. So to show you what I mean, let's just look at a couple of quick examples. So if you want to use the AI features within GoHighLevel, then that's going to cost you extra. It's not free. You can pay per unit, or you can pay an additional $97 a month, which is going to pretty much double what you pay already if you're on the starter plan. Then we've got the LC phone, which is GoHighLevel's integrated phone system. You pay extra for phone numbers, for making calls, sending and receiving SMS messages, and emails as well. You pay around 67 cents per 1,000 emails that you send out. So if you are sending a lot of emails, then that's going to really rack up the cost and stack it on top of what you're already paying. And then just to give you a quick overview, these are all the additional things that you do pay for. So if you want to use WhatsApp, WordPress hosting, Yext, even premium triggers and actions within automations, that all costs extra. Now, my view is if you are focusing on one particular aspect of running a business, so for example, if you're sending out a lot of emails, you may be better off picking a dedicated platform for that purpose, because what you're going to be doing is paying a single subscription price to send those emails rather than paying per 1,000 on top of an existing subscription fee. The fourth reason not to choose GoHighLevel has everything to do with websites. Now, GoHighLevel does allow you to create and use unlimited numbers of websites, but that doesn't mean it's a great platform for that specific purpose. I mean, they do have a lot of templates, and they have spent a lot of time improving them. They used to be pretty terrible. They really did. They were really badly designed and just filled with bugs and errors. So GoHighLevel has done a lot to improve those, but when you start looking through them, you realize that they're actually pretty samey. They might feature different purposes, so different business niches. They'll have different images and they'll have different color schemes, but essentially they kind of just all look the same. So that lack of diversity may be a problem if you are trying to create a website that looks truly original. And I think also where you're going to get unstuck is the lack of customization options. I mean, there are customization options and they kind of just do fine for a basic website. But if you're looking to do what WordPress can do, then you're not going to find it on GoHighLevel. And if you do plan to create websites for clients, then you are going to need something better and something that works like WordPress or other website builders like Square. I think the other thing to bear in mind is that GoHighLevel is fairly limited in terms of what you can do for SEO. Beyond the metadata and a bit of page optimization, there's not actually a lot more you can do. In contrast with WordPress, you get all the plugins and the advanced SEO options. So this is going to do a lot more for you in terms of getting your site seen on search pages. I think GoHighLevel is great for basic websites, simple websites. But if you really want to get your website out there and get it seen or get your client's site seen, then I think a dedicated tool is much better for that job. Let's move on to the fifth reason why you should not get GoHighLevel, and that is if you plan to specialize in e-commerce. That's selling physical products as opposed to digital ones. Now, GoHighLevel did introduce e-commerce capabilities onto its platform a while ago, but they are still super basic. So here, look, you can create product listings, you can create collections, you've got a very basic inventory management tool, and it's just introduced product reviews onto its platform. Then you can go ahead and create a e-commerce website. They've got a few templates, but again, they're fairly basic. And then this is what it might look like to a customer. So here's the product listing. And of course, the system can facilitate payments, but you're going to have to integrate with Stripe in order to do that. So if you don't use Stripe, then you are really going to come unstuck. I think the real problem for me here are the lack of shipping options. I mean, there aren't any. There's no shipping feature within GoHighLevel, and there are no native integrations available either. So what you're going to have to do is either deal with shipping completely off of GoHighLevel, which is super inconvenient, or you're going to have to use Zapier to connect a third-party shipping partner with GoHighLevel, which just adds an extra layer of technical complexity. Now, it also lacks the advanced features you need for large-scale e-commerce selling. So if you plan to sell products in high volumes, GoHighLevel just isn't there in terms of capability, and you're going to need a standalone platform instead. Now, interestingly, GoHighLevel actually integrates directly with Shopify and WooCommerce. So I think that's interesting because it kind of shows me that it just doesn't do what these platforms do. And it's true, it doesn't. So if you are planning to do e-commerce, then Shopify or WooCommerce on their own without GoHighLevel is going to be much better for your requirements. Now, the sixth reason why high level might not be for you is the level of support you get. It's inconsistent and it can be incredibly slow. Now, when you do get hold of an agent, they are helpful, and I do really like that they are willing to jump on a Zoom call with you so they can demonstrate anything on the platform that you're not too sure about, and you can resolve these issues in real time. But if they need to get back to you with anything that can't be resolved on the spot, they sometimes don't even bother, or they can take like a week to do that. It's really frustrating and it can be really annoying. Often I find I can get the answer by just jumping onto the Facebook group and getting someone that's not to do with high level to help me. So that has been a solution in the past, but really it shouldn't be down to these people. It should be down to the support agents to get back to you in a timely fashion, and it doesn't always happen. I do find as well, because when you set up a high level account, you have to give your phone number for verification, that they spam you with stuff, and that's really annoying too. I know it's not quite related to support, but if you don't want to receive these things, it can get irritating. So there's something to keep in mind. You can get faster support. It is possible, but you're going to have to pay $300 a month on top of your subscription fee. I think that is eye-wateringly expensive just to get VIP support, just to get a slightly faster service. So, I mean, most of us who are in the beginning stages of setting up a business are not going to be able to afford that kind of money just to get the support that you need. So if support is really, really important to you, then high level is probably going to disappoint you. Now, the seventh reason why high level might not be for you is the rapid pace of which it changes. Now, some might consider this a good thing. The developers are constantly introducing new features, upgrading existing ones, making tweaks and changes here and there. But for some people, it might be too much. Consistency is always a good thing, and if you know what you're getting every time you log onto the platform, then that can be comforting and easier to deal with. Whereas if the platform is constantly changing, it can be really difficult to keep up with what's going on. If you suddenly log in and the whole interface looks completely different, or a feature is not where it was yesterday, then that can be annoying just as much as bad service. So that's something to keep in mind. And also, because they do introduce features so rapidly, they're not always perfected, and so you can experience some bugs here and there. I mean, I will say that high level isn't notoriously buggy, it's fairly stable, but when they do introduce new things, then sometimes bugs can happen. So again, something to keep in mind. If you prefer a platform that doesn't change so frequently, high level's probably not going to be great, and you're better off choosing something that's a little more consistent in terms of what it introduces onto the interface. Now, the final and eighth reason of why you should not choose high level is that once you have committed to its ecosystem, you are locked into the ecosystem. Now, all-in-one platforms have a lot of advantages and a lot of benefits, but if you decide it doesn't work for you, then migrating your business from high level over to a new one can be incredibly difficult. Once you're locked into it, it's super hard to move things, especially if you just decide that one aspect of high level isn't working for you and you want to move that particular part onto another platform. You've then got to do it, and then you've got to connect it back to high level. So it just complicates things. So really, if you aren't using all of the features, then you may be better off using separate platforms for the purposes that you need them for, rather than just putting all of your eggs in one basket and committing to high level and high level only. It could bite you in the bum later down the road when you decide that it's not actually working for your needs. So that concludes the 8 reasons of why you should not choose high level for your online business. Now, I feel like I've been super negative about high level throughout this video. And don't get me wrong, it does have its flaws, but it's also a really, really fantastic platform. But like I keep saying, it's not for everybody. Now, to determine what type of platform you should use, I said at the start of the video I was going to reveal 3 questions that you should ask yourself. So let's just quickly go through those now, and you can start drilling down into what you actually need for your business. The first question you need to ask yourself is, what is your main focus right now? If you have an existing business that you're looking to grow and scale, then high level is probably the perfect option for you, because it's going to allow you to do exactly that. Whereas if your focus is more specific on one particular area, then high level is probably going to be too overwhelming for you, and you need to choose a specialized platform for the job. So for example, if you want to create and build learning content, then Kajabi is the best option for that, because it has all the tools you need to build and sell courses and other learning products. LearnWorlds is another great option for more structured and educational learning. If you want to focus on email or SMS marketing, then I think ActiveCampaign is great, and so is MailChimp. Now, both of them have fairly simple subscription models that you can scale up or down according to how many emails or text messages that you want to send. If your focus is on e-commerce, then undoubtedly Shopify is the best tool for that particular job. That has everything you need from small scale right up to large scale e-commerce. And if you want to build and sell websites, then of course WordPress is the gold standard for that. Or if you want something that's a little bit more user friendly, then I do recommend Squarespace. So really focus in on what your priorities are and choose a platform that matches those priorities exactly. And also don't forget that choosing a specialized platform gives you access to more advanced features for that purpose, whereas GoHighLevel is a bit of a jack of all trades and doesn't include those advanced features. The second question you need to ask yourself is, what is your comfort level in terms of technical capabilities? As I said, GoHighLevel is a complex platform. It comes with a steep learning curve. So it's not suitable for those who aren't confident in their technical abilities and want something simpler. If we look at comparisons to GoHighLevel, I recommend ClickFunnels as a kind of middle ground. It offers similar features to GoHighLevel, but they're much easier to learn, and the interface is a lot more intuitive and it's less complex to set up. The pricing is the same as well. It's $97 a month or $297 for the higher plan, and there's no hidden costs either, so that's also something to bear in mind. If you're really not confident technically, then System.io is another great option. It's more basic, a lot more basic than GoHighLevel, but it's way simpler to master, and you can get going with its features in a really short space of time. So if you want to get your business up and running quickly without technical complications or nightmares like that, then System.io is a fantastic option. The third and final question you need to ask yourself is, how much do you want to spend each month? What is your budget right now? While you might be fine spending $97 a month for GoHighLevel at the moment, are you going to be prepared to spend extra in those additional costs later down the line? As we've discovered, it can significantly increase your monthly outgoings. Or would you be better off paying a single subscription fee with no additional monthly costs? For example, as I've said, ClickFunnels pricing is very straightforward and there are no additional costs. And System.io is incredibly affordable. It actually has a completely free plan where you can get your business up and running for zero money whatsoever. And its other plans are very, very reasonably priced as well. So think about your budget and think about what you can afford to spend now and what you would prefer to be spending a little bit later down the line. Hopefully that's given you plenty of food for thought and more insight into the type of platform you should be choosing for your business. Always check out these platforms for free before you commit to them financially. As I said earlier, there is an extended 30-day free trial for GoHighLevel. If you just click the link in the description below, you can try it out and see if it fits your needs. If not, try a free trial with another platform and keep going until you find the perfect fit. That's all from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As I said, if you have questions, drop them in the comments section below. I am always available to answer them, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.